Good evening. How's everybody? It's not even actually, it's afternoon. It's weird because a lot of people are going to go, we know why you're on here, Mick. We know why. Right, two things. It's the UK. It's the day before the King actually gets the coronation. I've just been watching him. He's been walking down. It says a lot in this country. We've got the future monarch of the monarch of the country, and his family walking down the mall, shaking hands with the general public. The day before he's going to put the crown on, and that's amazing. I think we're probably the only country in the world that can do that. Yes, it's a nightmare for security because you don't know who's in there, and you always get one or two strange characters in the crowd. But being English, or from the UK, but being English myself, I'm an eccentric. I'll be there with silly hat on and everything. But in the UK, very much the eccentricities are accepted. So it doesn't matter where you come from. There was people from Ireland, America, Scotland, Wales, everywhere came from all over, and they're camping out there. But as I say, it's amazing to actually see that normally people of power just go, oh no, the locals, they can bugger off. You know what I mean? But the actual King has come out and he's actually walking down the mall, shaking hands with people. And Kate and all, everyone else who look marvellous. They're dressed like normal people and they're smart normal people. And they're talking to the public. I think it's fantastic. So if only everyone else could take a leap out of our books without trying to assassinate people. I have to throw that one in quickly because obviously in the last sort of like 48 hours, we've got the Russian president saying that there's been an attempt on his life by a drone. And then there's somewhere else as well where somebody else was being shot at as well. Crazy world we live in. Right, anyway, moving on. The second and the major one that I've come to gloat about today, and I'm not going to make any beef and ball about it. Hurrah! Thank you very much to the British public. You have finally got off your backsides and gone to the vote. Yes, it wasn't a high count. 30% I think they're saying they turned out, but people got off. I think it would have been more if you hadn't had to have your passports and pictures and everything like that. I'll be freely admitted, I've got to eat my own words now as well. I said I wasn't going to vote Labour, I wasn't going to vote Conservative. I wasn't going to Conservative because I'd trust them as much as I can trust a thief. So, and they're both exactly the same barrel as far as I'm concerned. The Labour haven't done enough. They've just sat on their laurels and tried to get the votes. So they haven't done enough to deserve my vote. And that's a sad state of affair which they're going to have to come up with. I went and I said to everybody I would not vote for either. I would be voting for reform. I've got to take my words back. There was no reform. There was no reform on that area, on the area I live in. And I actually said this in the voting place itself. If I'd known that, I'd have stood myself. If I'd known you said you were going to stand everybody all over, Richard Tice, and you didn't. You let me down. So, unfortunately, the Liberals have had me vote. So, and I'm saying unfortunately, I know, and I could tell by a lot of, sort of like, a few people chat to, that the Liberals have picked up a lot of dissenting voters. I have to be honest, do I think that they voted because they're Liberal? No, I think what they voted is like they did last time. They've actually voted Liberal because there was no choice. And they wanted to say, basically, they didn't want to waste the vote. They just wanted to say, listen, look, this is what's happening. And I can see the numbers starting to come in now. And Liberals have done marvellously well, but they will know there is a percentage. I don't know what the percentage is, but there is a percentage of people who voted for the Liberals because they didn't trust the other two parties. So what will happen on a general election, I'm not exactly sure. But there we go. Right, so Mr. Sunak. This basically is the country telling you exactly what you've known since you usurped your title as Prime Minister. You're not welcome. We don't regard you as the Prime Minister. You've never been. There's nothing democratic about you whatsoever. You're a fraudster. So you're an absolute fraudster and a shyster. So, and everyone is now putting their foot down and saying, we want to see the back of you. So if you want to, I don't know what the total thing, they're looking now at pretty much even the worst case scenario, even worse than the worst case scenario for the actual numbers when they are all pulled in. Hopefully, Mr. Sunak, you realise that you're not welcome. If you want to be a Prime Minister, you have to be voted in, not just walk in the back door. So democracy has actually put its foot down today. Thank you very much for everyone getting out there and voting. Let's see if democracy means anything in this country now with regards to the Tories. Will they actually say and give us a general election? Pretty much this is what this is saying. After this, all bets are off, because if you don't take any notice of this, I don't know what the next thing that the British public will do. I really don't. I don't know what they'll do. They've done everything within their grounds in the democratic system. They've done everything to say that you're not welcome in your post. And I don't know what's next to come. I really don't. We will wait and see. I believe Mr. Sunak has actually, I'm not going to call him Prime Minister, if Mr. Sunak has gone out and said, well, we'll have to do better. No, you don't do better, mate. This is pretty much the equivalent of the 1933 push, where the people tried to steal in the German Parliament, and they were put in prison. So, and I think this is the same thing. There is a time where you have to realise that you're not welcome. Nobody believes you anymore, and you've stolen too much money off us now. We want you out. Okay. All right. On that, so it is good news if you're not a Tory voter. If you're a Tory voter, congratulations. You're probably going to have a load more Tory people that will actually stand up and represent you better than this bunch of whatevers. So, all right. Have a lovely afternoon. For those who are watching the parade and everything tomorrow and the coronation, have an absolutely fantastic day. I hope everyone has a lovely weekend, and we'll catch you, sometime during that period. All right. Take it easy. Have a lovely weekend. Ta-da.